Many of our graduates go on to work in local and national media. In weeks to come, Video Workshop will take a look at alternative health remedies and capital punishment. We hope you'll join us then for trips around the area and visits with community leaders. For this week's concluding feature, we talked to Steve Mathiasen about the exciting sport of lacrosse.
Did you know that Native American Indians used to play games to prepare for battle? One game was called the Gataway, which is known today as the sport of lacrosse. Hello, I'm Chrissy Polidorus, and we will be talking about the sport of lacrosse with the Commissioner of the Gulf Coast Lacrosse Association, Steve Mathiasen. Why don't you start by telling us how the game has evolved, and what is the game like today of lacrosse?
There are parameters and there's standards and there's rules. Today, as opposed to maybe centuries ago with the Native Americans, we actually have a standard field of 60 yards by 110 yards. We have limited the amount of participants to 10 per side on the field at any one time, as opposed to maybe hundreds or thousands. And the games only run about 60 minutes game time, as opposed to several days, the way they did back then.
Now when you say, is it a running clock throughout the game, or does it stop?
Typically it's stop time. The NCAA rules mandate a 15-minute stop time. Some games, they hybrid it out to do like a 20-minute running time quarter or something like that, maybe on a local level, but the regulations are 15-minute stop.
Now, as an alternative team sport, would you say lacrosse is becoming a little bit more mainstream?
I think so, definitely across the country. It was once relegated mostly to the eastern seaboard, kind of locked between the Atlantic Ocean and the Allegheny Mountains for decades. It has progressed all the way to California. It's played from literally Washington to Miami, from Maine to San Diego. In fact, there's even a Hawaiian tournament that the Hawaiian Lacrosse Club puts on. It's gone international. We've got teams in Japan, Czechoslovakia, just all sorts of places. There's world games that are involving more and more countries every year.
That's wonderful. I don't think a lot of people know that it's gone international.
Yeah.
Now tell me where in the Houston area lacrosse is played.
Several high schools. There's a lot of high schools that play. We've got a lot of very, very good lacrosse people in this town that have helped to culture that. We've also got numerous people that are working to get the game played on the junior level and on the youth level. In addition, the area colleges like Rice University, Sam Houston State, places like that have teams as well. And we have, just for our league alone, 4 post-collegiate club teams. We're hopefully going to add a couple more next year. Our league's in the expansion mode. We know there's a lot of players out there. We just need to create the teams for them.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the equipment, since it is a little different than other sports that are played on a field. What, you know, I assume everyone, are these pieces of equipment required for every participant?
This is the basic requirements. You have your helmet, your lid right here that protects your skull to a certain degree. The ball is made of hard rubber. It's a slightly smaller than a baseball, you know, roughly about as heavy. This is what we call the classic midfielder stick. There's also a goalie stick, which has a much larger basket to it. There's also defensive sticks that go 6 feet long or so. Attackman sticks might be a little shorter. And then you have your protective gloves so you don't break your hand. And
there is other equipment for various positions that are played in lacrosse, is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. You'd be hard-pressed to find a goalie step in there without at least a chest protector as well as a throat protector. Many goalies have scrambled to find throat protectors knowing that they suddenly had to play. Many attackmen will wear shoulder pads and arm pads, and some even rib protectors if they knew that they were going to be up against defensemen that tended to slash a lot.
So for people who have never seen lacrosse played, tell me what the object of the game is. Do you start in the middle of the field and you're trying to pass the ball and make a goal?
That's right.
How does that work?
Each goal is 1 point.
Okay.
And basically the play starts with a face-off at the midfield line in the center of the field. Whistle blows, everybody scrambles for the ball, and then it'll go to either one end of the field or the other end of the field, where one team's on offense and the other team's on defense. And the interaction between the players on offense is not unlike basketball. You can go behind the cage, but you can also set picks, do picks and rolls. You can go into a stall offense. So there's a lot of different creativity that you can throw into the game offensively. And the defensive, you're just basically trying to play position. And you can play man-on-man. You can play some semblances of zone defenses. So I think a basketball fan would probably pick up on a lot of that right away.
Now, if someone's interested in getting started in lacrosse, who would they contact?
The Houston Metropolitan Lacrosse Club would probably be a good place to start. We can point them in the right direction at that point.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. We have been talking with Steve Mathiasen of the Gulf Coast Lacrosse Association about the sport of lacrosse. We appreciate you joining us on Video Workshop.